Hello, my name is Bradley Butler, and I am the director and curator at Main Street Arts in Clifton Springs, New York. Exhibition programming at Main Street Arts is made possible in part by the New York State Council on the Arts. Tonight I'm going to take you on a virtual walkthrough of our current exhibition, Making Space. The exhibition includes work by Mizin Shin, Rachel Shelton, and Bob Fleming. The three artists collectively own Mirabo Press, located in Buffalo, New York. Mirabo Press is a printmaking studio offering limited edition printmaking by contract to individuals and galleries. Through their efforts, they are working to expand the local art scene by collaborating with both regional and national artists. If you'd like to learn more about Mirabo Press and the three co-owners, please join us for a virtual studio tour and artist talk on Tuesday, February 15th at 5 p.m. That'll be right here on Facebook Live. And you can get a tour of their incredible studio space and also learn more about the artists and their work. So as I said, I'm going to give you a tour of the show tonight. And so I'm going to flip us around here and show you a little bit of the exhibition and just kind of talk about the show and a little bit about the artist's work. So the idea for this exhibition featuring these artists came together after Mizin Shin was included in an exhibition here at the beginning of 2021 called Constellations. And that was a three-person exhibition, similar in focus, the idea of interconnectedness, which is also kind of a sub-theme in this exhibition with some collaborative works that we have in this show. So the thing that struck me when I did a studio visit with them last fall at Mirabo Press was how collaborative these artists are. Not only through their operations at Mirabo Press, working with artists and collaborating with them, but also the way that they collaborated with one another. So we decided to highlight these collaborations alongside the individual works in the exhibition. So you'll see works by each of the artists individually, and then also their collaborative pieces are also in this show. So as you can see so far in the exhibition, there is a range in style and media, but there is also just a really great cohesive group of work. And sometimes the collaborative works in the show demonstrate the range and styles of the respective artists, but also at other times it's harder to tell who did what. So sometimes you can really tell this is Mizin or Rachel or Bob. Other times you kind of have to look a little harder to see see who it is exactly, because they just work so well together. So I'm going to focus on one piece by each artist, and then also show you a few of the collaborative works too. So I'm going to go back into this room here and start with Mizin. Also show off our lettering for the exhibition, which was done by Lori Freer, local calligrapher and letterer, typographer, designer. So first we're going to look at Mizin's work. And so Mizin Shin's work addresses interdependency throughout societal systems. It looks at the interconnectedness of many elements in constructed systems. She visualizes connections to depict these systems as networks, interdependent on a large and continually increasing number of societal entities. Her work presents all items of our systems as significant, from individual elements to larger constructs. And so this piece is called How Things Are Made. And the things being made here are actually chocolate chip cookies, which you may or may not be able to tell just by looking at it. But it's also I mean, it's important, but also irrelevant in some ways because it's really looking at the idea of a network or a system just to see how all of the different parts are interconnected. And so she uses that idea of, a network, something to investigate, like a system, as a way to explore something visually and also see how things are related. And so these are actually individual panels which can be repeated to make as big of an installation as she desires. And this is a woodcut. And in the past, she's also installed this on wall, floor, and ceiling in the past. And then we're going to go back into the other room here and look at a piece by Rachel. And so we're going to look at this piece called Passage by Rachel Shelton, which looks great next to the arches in our building. So Rachel says of her work, "We can have beauty while we talk about ugly things. My communication strategy for tough topics involves subtlety and providing questions rather than answers." Rachel is interested in how perspectives evolve and intends the work to be a quiet challenge to the viewer to explore their own evolving perspectives. She says, we each need to take our own path toward understanding large concepts. By using abstraction and representation, she leaves room for self-examination to take multiple directions. And so this piece is many individual monoprints kind of tiled together around this shape of an arch or a pathway. And before we look at some of the collaborative works, I'm just going to show you two pieces by Bob Fleming. And so there are two pieces which relate to each other. These are two paintings from his Kilter series. So we've got one here, and then on the other side of the gallery, we've got one over here. And this is a continuing and evolving series for him. And Bob says, the imaginative possibilities of responding to the world are vast. No two people, let alone artists, are affected in the same way. My work is a reaction to living in an era that always seems to deprioritize our shared humanity. Some of the themes I am currently interested in are the sense that people are off balance or off kilter in their lives, the difficulty of meaningful and sustained personal interconnections, the human disruptions called by crisis, and the cost of violence and the myth of the good war are things that Bob's exploring in this series. And these are done on a raw linen. Which is really great because you can see right through even the darkest areas of the figurative areas. You can see through that texture of the linen, which makes it a really interesting image. And then we've got several collaborative works in the show. And when installing the exhibition, I tried to give space to each of the artists to have their own, distinct areas where it was definitely Mizin, Rachel, or Bob, but also when smaller pieces by each of the individual artists came together, it was conscious to kind of bring those together with the idea of collaboration, and then also have the collaborative works themselves. So We've got a piece over here called Parallel Number 1, Systems, which is a accordion-style book that Rachel and Mizin passed back and forth. And this is one of those that at first, it may be, to me, it may have been either of theirs, the way that it was done, but the more that you study it, the more that you can see some of Rachel's work is apparent in here, some of her marks that she makes, and then the same thing for Mizin. So, it comes together very cohesively, but you can really see the individual mark of the artist. So, and then we've got a piece by Rachel and Bob over here, and you can really see, some of Rachel's textures in these circles, and then Bob's figurative elements coming in. And then we've got a collaborative piece by Mizin and Bob. And then there's another one that relates to this as well, with the legs. So as I said, there's quite a range in the exhibition. And one of the things that I thought was interesting is that all three of these artists are printmakers. They own a printmaking studio. But we've got painting, sculpture, printmaking, elements of drawing. And so we hope that you'll have a chance to come and see this show for yourself, and that you'll join us for another virtual event that we're going to do on Tuesday, February 15th. It is a virtual studio tour and artist talk with Rachel, Mizin, and Bob. So you're going to be able to get a tour of the studio, and then learn more about their works and also a little bit about their background. Also like to mention that the three artists will be holding a day-long collaborative printmaking workshop at Main Street Arts on Saturday, February 19th, and that's just a few days after the show comes to a close. And so you can find information about that on our website, mainstreetartscs.org. And so they'll be combining a variety of printmaking techniques, including blind embossing, jelly plate printing, and monotype. And so the artists use these techniques in their own works, which are included in the exhibition. So thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this little preview and tour of the show. And if you're in the area, we hope that you can stop in and see it for yourself. And even if whether you're in the area or not, you can definitely join us for the virtual event. And if you're interested, please check out the information on the workshop on our website. So if you're around and you want to come see this exhibition, it runs through the 17th, I believe it is. It runs through the 17th of February, and our hours are Tuesday and Wednesday from 11 to 3, and then Thursday through Saturday from 11 to 6. So thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you soon.